Alrighty, welcome back to my channel, Maybe Between the Pages. My name is Taylor, and today we're going to be doing my February wrap-up. Now you may notice the background looks a lot different than usual, and that is because I'm currently in the States. So this is the only way that I can store my US book collection right now. It has to be stacked this way because this is 2 rows deep. In my old closet. So, this is kind of what we're working with right now, but I thought it would be nice to at least show you guys a little bit of my books, even though they don't look super, organized or whatever. While I'm in the States, you can see some of what I have here. Now, I almost didn't film this video because I only read 1 book in February, and I felt like that wasn't enough to film a wrap-up. And then I kind of sat down with myself and really thought about it and said, I feel like that's actually contributing to the thing that we all often talk about or complain about in this community, where we feel like we compare how much we've read to other people and how that comparison really doesn't matter. And I felt like I was contributing to that by deciding not to film a wrap-up because I only read 1 book. Because reading 1 book is still amazing. It still absolutely counts. Like, the fact that we even think that it doesn't count is ridiculous. So I wanted to pop on here and film a quick wrap-up about the book that I read. And that is The Bitter Twins, the 2nd book in the Winnowing Flame trilogy. Look, if you've been anywhere near me, you know that the 1st book in the Winnowing Flame, The Ninth Reign, swept through my books last year. It was my favorite book of 2023. It came in hot in December and just said, I am the one. And I have not shut up about it since. So it's absolutely no secret that I love the 1st book in the trilogy, and the 2nd one is no exception. I adored The Bitter Twins. I enjoyed it so immensely. It's one of those books where I can see where the criticisms come from, and they're actually really good criticisms, honestly, that do have a point. But for me, those criticisms didn't affect my enjoyment. We do go in a lot of tangential directions. Williams decided to do what a lot of people do with the 2nd book and have the characters we love so much split up and doing their own kind of disparate things. And that allows the world to expand and different plot threads to kind of develop and move forward at the same time through the characters that we love. And some people hate when that happens because they feel like it's detracting from the main plot that they, got into in the 1st book. And I completely understand that criticism. However, for me, this is not an issue for me whatsoever because Williams could take me absolutely anywhere in this world and I would be down. I know some people might categorize that as middle book syndrome, but I actually really like middle books often. Maybe it's because I don't like endings and they stress me out, which The Poison Song proved that. At this point, I have finished the trilogy and I'll talk about that in my March wrap-up. Poison Song, oh my god, I was so stressed. But the middle book doesn't have the ending point to it. Bitter Twins did stress me out immensely, not as much as The Poison Song, but I was like, tension was high, okay? But even in The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers was my favorite movie for the longest time because I just love that kind of middle place where we're expanding the world, taking time with it, taking time with the characters. I eat that shit up, and that's what The Bitter Twins did, and I loved it. The way that Williams was able to expand her world also allowed her to use the same technique that she did in the 1st book of slowly feeding us little tidbits and information about the world, the mythology, the history, the lore, and that was one of the things that I loved the most about the 1st book. So the fact that she took the time to expand the world to be able to do that again, it just gave me more of what I loved. Now, I don't want to go into any specific plot points or say even character names because, as usual with epic fantasy, if you're talking about the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever book in a series, even saying a name can give away whether they survive a previous situation, things like that. So I am going to, stay away from that, but I do want to film a full Winnowing Flame, why you should read this trilogy review. And in that video, I do want to go into spoilers. But for this little wrap-up, I'm just going to stick with the fact that I loved it. I ate it up. It was 5 stars. Even though it stressed me out, it was a full 5 stars. And one other book that I was reading in February, but I have decided to DNF, is a SPIFBO finalist for SPIFBO 9. This DNF, though, was not the fault of the book. It's Hills of Heather and Bone, and I do think that it was a beautifully written story, but the themes were just they were hitting way too close to home. It was really triggering me, which I guess is a testament to how well the themes were put on the page. But this book really delves into grief after loss of a child, loss of pregnancy, lots of parenthood themes. And I went into this with, you know, blind, which is what I like to do with Spiffbo. But a lot of people said that they loved this book, so I decided that I would pick it up. So again, it's not the fault of the book. I just didn't know that these themes were going to be in it. And when they first kind of showed up, I was like, oh, okay, if this is just like a subplot or something involved in the story, I think I can roll with this. But it became very clear once I got to 50% of the way through that this was going to be a key linchpin point of the story. And I found myself dreading picking it up because it was like triggering me so much. So again, not the fault of the book. I'm just not the right reader. So I'm going to let my Spiffbo judge cohorts kind of take on this review. I know a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on it, so there will be very good reviews forthcoming from Before We Go blog. I will just not be one of those because I had to take a step back for my own mental health. But I decided to read Wickwire Watch instead, so hopefully my thoughts will be part of the reviews from the judges when that comes out. Let me know what you read in February, even if it's just one book or even half a book and you're in the middle of it. Let me know what you think about it, because I want us to not feel like we have to read 15 books in a month to be able to talk about them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell. I'd love to have you as part of this community, and I appreciate it. But for now, I'm gonna head out. Jenny!